And hello again, I'm back. So here we are. It is again 10th of November 2012, and I'm here now to review the first 6 issues of Huntress and Power Girl as World's Finest. Now this one was obviously touted at the same time that they brought out Earth 2, so again it's part of the second wave again. This was back in earlier this year. They announced that they were going to bring in World's Finest and also Earth 2, and with World's Finest, as I say, it's Huntress and Power Girl, but it's actually Supergirl and Robin of Earth 2. So carrying on from where from you know, it goes in parallel with what happened in Earth 2 with Superman, Batman and Wonder Woman pretty much making the last stand against Apocalypse and Darkseid and Parademons and all that sort of stuff. So they somehow went through a boom tube, arriving into Earth, you know, our Earth kind of thing, well, they decided to get their own identity and all sorts. And if you remember, if you've read Huntress, which was a 6-issue miniseries last year, that was pretty much lining up to World's Finest. And if you've also been reading Mr. Terrific, you'll know that Karen Starr was actually in that series up until World's Finest as well, and she was also featured at the last few pages of the Huntress as well, seen taking her off for a flight, escaping security and whatnot at the Italian airports. So here we have, as I say, we've got, it looks like Helena is trying to decide which identity to keep, which one she's got to get rid of. I mean, you can see it here. If you look at this picture very closely, you can see at the top there on the glass, you see them as one Supergirl and Robin. That's who they were. You know, Helena being the daughter of Batman and Catwoman, and obviously Supergirl being the cousin of Superman as well. So anyway, like I say, it's there's a crisis here. There's a fire going off, and what I love about this is that Power Girl goes in. Well, we'll call her Karen for now. She goes in to stop the fire, but it's actually at her one of her like enterprise buildings that her latest R&D laboratory even because she's obviously got a business up running, Star Enterprises, and that's all through Michael Holt. And this particular one, she's setting up a what's known as a quantum tunneler to try and get her and Huntress back to their Earth again. It's not been destroyed; it's still there, so don't worry. So anyway, as I say, Power Girl goes in to avert danger, stops the fire, and what I love so much is what she was wearing when she was at the restaurant. Just look at that bit there. You see the outfit. They're almost teasing us with her old outfit, because they've changed the outfit, as you can see there. Okay, so it's not what it used to be, but as you can see here, it's being teased. I mean, Huntress even turns around and says, speaking of Chewd, if you're going to use your powers, get a costume, not an arrest for indecent exposure. And Karen just turns around and just says, prude. But I think she's also doing like a breaking of the fourth wall there at the same time, almost as if to say to certain writers and artists, you know, what are you guys doing, kind of thing. But yeah, we even go back 5 years ago. We get some background on Earth 2, what happened. They see that that there was a boom tube had appeared. They went in because they were going after someone, I believe. And then when they came through, well, they arrived on Earth 2, on this Earth even, and then had to realise that everything's not what it seems, and they then had to take on new identities and all sorts. So it's all about finding their feet, and Helena does an interesting thing. She's actually borrowing money off Bruce Wayne. That becomes revealed in a later issue. But then you see Power Girl get her new costume at long last. So that's where they come up with their names for Power Girl and the Huntress. So yeah, it's an interesting take for the pair of them. You know, they've got to, you know, adapt, as it were, to this new Earth that they're in. And then their big threat awaits them as well. So more on this particular character, because he's quite brutal and a big problem, especially for Power Girl, because he does affect her powers in some sense. She finds it difficult to get close to him, to hurt him, and it's because of the amount of radiation that he's letting off as well. So it is quite brutal. But as I say, the issues go on. You see Karen in her business outfit, looking very lovely, I must say, and so she's still got her business. I'm trying to still figure out if her members of staff know who she is and what she does, but I'm not sure if they do. They probably do, because one of them, her PA, who's really close to her, knows that she's all about super strength and stuff. As you can see here, she's underwater, and then when she comes out, she's flying out of the water. She picked up a big chunk of rock there, and there's her PA kind of thing, knowing what it is she's doing and stuff like that. So, but yeah, as I say, as it goes on, they're facing off this big radioactive threat. I've completely forgotten what the dude's name is, but he is quite brutal. So that's all going on between those two, and then it carries on. I think it goes on to issue 3 as well, so it flows over, and even into issue 4 as well. So it is quite a long sort of session between Huntress, Power Girl, and this big Haku, as he's known. Quite a big quite a big bad evil thing, all radioactive and whatnot. So they have to try and come up with some other strategy of trying to get close to him, trying to hurt him. All the while, as I say, we're still getting flashbacks to their time on Earth and everything, and they even visit London at one point, and they're inside the London Eye, and the conversation between them in these 2 pages in particular is just absolutely fantastic. It is totally hilarious, and I have to give Paul Levitt's epic credit for that, because he's the one who's been writing World's Finest, and it is just amazing how the pair of them are just having this awesome conversation. It's fantastic. It just goes to show the relationship between the two of them. They are like sisters in some sense. I mean, Helena's all about keeping herself more composed and whatnot, whereas Karen's all about I'm just gonna walk around in tank tops and short skirts and stuff. So she's not afraid to make herself known, and then this is where she also learns about how to go into business, build an enterprise. I mean, you even see a little mock-up of the outfit that she's got there, so that again, a bit of a nod to the old Power Girl outfit as well. So that's that's what I'm talking about. So as I say, all the while at the same time still taking down this big threat, because he's now in Tokyo, and they need to now really put a stop to him because he's causing too much destruction. So we get that one out of the way in issue 3. So in issue 4, as I say, he's there's the cover. So it's still ongoing, as I say. So that fight is definitely not over yet. And then eventually, I think Power Girl comes up with an idea, not a very brilliant idea, but even Huntress thinks it's a bit wrong. But what else is Power Girl going to do? But she's got to put a stop to this radioactive monster. And then there's a bit where again we go back a few over 2 years ago now, even 3.5 years ago, in fact, and both Helena and Karen are just wandering through the streets, and they bump into a group of men, and this is in Rome, in Italy, and Karen basically says, look, we don't want to be part of your little party kind of thing, because they're dabbling in white powder. As you can see there, where is it? I think it's just there it is, down there. So dabbling in white powder, and then one of them goes to slap Karen, and Helena's just licking her ice cream, going, Roberto, that's going to hurt you. And it quite literally does, because he goes for it and you see his fingers crack. It's like, dude, she did try to warn you. And then so so Karen goes a bit, she starts playing around with them, whereas four men are surrounding Helena. This is what I love so much. They all surround her. Karen's just dropped the car, and Helena's just like, right, okay, yeah, are you done? Are you quite done with the car yet? Because, I'm just waiting. And it's like, okay, I admit it, I missed this. We have to get out more. It's like I say, the conversation between the pair of them is just amazing. And then Helena learns a bit more about the Catwoman and Batman of this particular Earth, realising that obviously Bruce is not her dad and Selina is not her mum. But at the same time, she's she's stealing money from Bruce Wayne at the same time. And then it's a case of, what can she do? This is where she's trying to figure out who can she be, what sort of identity can she take, and then that's when she comes up with the whole bow and arrow crossbow and arrow sort of idea, which is when she takes on the role of the Huntress. So, like I say, at the same time, we're back to the present day again. Power Girl's costume is taking a turn for the worse in some places. It's interesting how her costumes seem to get, over and over again, it just seem to get torn apart and just leaving certain bits covered. Again, another nod to the old costume, as it were. So when that one's finished, as I say, they took down the big guy. Eventually, it was quite interesting to see how that one worked out, using a nuclear warhead from a missile. That was quite an interesting devisable plan. They get in trouble by who's it? They get in trouble. It says under arrest a naval vessel, destruction of government property, violating nuclear security. I mean, they've just saved their lives, and now they're getting arrested, basically. So that was at the end of issue 4. Without trying to spend too long on this, trying to get through this as quickly as possible. So by issue 5, there's issue 6. What's that doing there? Right. So by issue 5, anyway. Karen's doing some more business strategy. She's trying to find out what her limits are in terms of her powers. Again, costume's been put through its strenuous test, as you can see. So her and Helena are trying to figure out what her power limits are. Excuse me. And she's been going through some rigorous training, as you can see there. Very well effective, if you ask me. So she goes off to Switzerland, to the LHC, as we like to call it, the Large Hadron Collider. It's featured in this particular issue, and she's trying to learn a bit more about protons and all that sort of stuff. And she's actually wanting to what's it she wants to do? Because it says here that she can see the action inside the actual pipe, kind of thing, and then something happens. It looks like someone's come through a boom tube somewhere. So she's trying to figure out who it is, what it is. It's some sort of robot. So she has a fight with it and pretty much demolishes the poor fellow. Takes it apart, but it actually blows up in some sense anyway. And again, honestly, I'll tell you what, right, I don't know if it's just the fact that she likes to get naked, or even Helena is like, why is it your outfits end up in rags so often? And Karen's just like, well, I'm just a physical kind of girl, that's all it is. So it just, it's, I don't know if they're trying to say something about her and her outfits and the fact that they're always getting torn apart, or they'd leave little to the imagination. So is it kind of given that nod again to her old costume kind of thing? But anyway, this is heavily featured again also on Huntress as well. She's quite heavily featured in this, and it goes back to a time of when she was not when she was doing something in the past. It was actually very recent, this one, doing some sort of rally that's going on with the students, and someone gets shot. She hears a gunshot, so she goes after the person shooting. Just happens to be a sniper, and takes him down, and then rejoins the rally from there on. So again, it wasn't not really much of an effective issue. There were some hints to what's to come in the issue, but nothing I couldn't really pick up from there. But for me, this is the best issue. This one right here, Huntress meets Robin. Damian Wayne against Helena Wayne. It's just fantastic. It literally is awesome. So here we meet. So Huntress is going back into the Gotham National Bank to take some money again from Bruce Wayne. Damian, Robin, catches her in the act, and well, he pretty much is just it's typical Damian. All right, they both fight each other. But Damian really does give Huntress a run for her money, is all I can say. And then at the same time, Power Girl is installing a little solar power, some sort of box of hers into the Global Planet News Galaxy Communication satellite, owned by Morgan Edge. So for some reason, I don't know why she's doing that to collate some scientific data. She even passes Supergirl, as you can see briefly there, avoids her like the plague, which is quite interesting. So they're collecting data, as I say. They need to know regarding where certain apocalypse energy are on planet Earth, and that's what she's using that for. All the while, she gets told that Huntress is in trouble, fighting off against Robin for some strange reason. Stops it, joins in. I mean, I have to admit, honestly, that these two pages in particular, Robin and Huntress really fighting off each other, it is just fantastic. And it's like their fighting styles are similar, because they're both saying that your fighting is very similar to mine, this, that, and the other. And even Helena's like, you have his eyes, your eyes are like Bruce Wayne kind of thing. So the pair of them are really feeding off each other, all the while at the same time that little box that Power Girl put into the satellite has somehow suddenly been destroyed. Some sort of energy has come through and blasted that box off. The satellite is still intact, so that's alright. And then, as I say, once Huntress and Robin are still at it, Power Girl intervenes. It's the epic kick up the butt. I'm sure it's fair to say that Damian felt that. And then, well, turns out that even though Helena's only stolen about $5 million, Robin's saying that she's been taking more than that, like stealing millions every week. And then that's when Huntress is like, well, hang on, I have stolen, yes, but not every week. And this was only the second time she's going to steal money again. And then she's pretty much going to start telling the story of what happened. And look at Karen behind her, as if to say, oh God, you look disgusting. It's going to clear all this mess off you, kind of thing. So, but yeah, it's as I say, I absolutely love that issue. Really, really love the issue. I've been waiting for when Robin was going to meet up with Huntress and just seeing what sort of sparks were going to fly from between them. And so far, so good. So very, very good friction between those two, and I'm sure it's only going to get better once Huntress reveals what's happened to her and Power Girl, and why they're on this Earth instead of their own Earth, and this, that, and the other, and why she's been taking money from Bruce Wayne. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes anyway. But thank you all for watching. Sorry about the epic longness of the video. I haven't done a comic book review for a long time, especially a typical 6-issue one. So thanks for watching, and I shall see you all soon. Bye.